All right, so I'm turning my E30 here into a drift car, and I need some way to get it to and from drift events, which is where this comes in. This is a 2003 Ford Expedition that I got on Marketplace for $500. When I was originally looking at it, I was like, damn, there's no rust on this thing, but now that I have it back, I realize, you know, there's a little bit more than I originally thought, but it's not bad. Of course, the headlights have faded, and it's got this aftermarket grille I'm indifferent about, but it's metal, so that's nice, I guess. So the real reason that this was $500 is, well, the timing chain guide broke. Common problem on these 4.6 Tritons, right next to ejecting spark plugs, but we won't think about that. Now, the stuff to replace the timing chain isn't here yet, so I think what I'm gonna start doing is rip this interior apart, because it smells kind of funky in here. So I was going to take these seats out, and they use Torx bits. Really, Ford? I don't have any of those. Right, so this is a first for me. There's no holes in this floor. I've never had a vehicle with no holes in the floor before. I thought I'd have to get the welder out, but I guess not. The car was smoked in, probably part of the smell. All right, so like 3 whole days of cleaning later, finally, it doesn't feel disgusting. Lap of luxury. Yeah, everything's made of plastic, but you know, plastic's a good material. That's why they used it everywhere. Yeah. Also, check this out. Oh no, the pedals are too far away. Fear not. Oh yeah, look at the action on that. So before, this car smelled like cheap weed, wet dog, body odor, and cigarettes, but now it still smells like that, but less. So we'll take it. All right, timing chain parts are here, so I guess it's time to actually, you know, fix it. Yeah, these things are plastic fantastic. I can see why they break. Built Ford tough. We make everything out of plastic, and that somehow makes it tough. So I was going to remove these quick disconnect transmission cooler lines. Didn't have the tool, bought this tool, didn't fit, shaved it down, still didn't fit. So I just gave up and disconnected the nut. Ford, we make stuff impossible to remove without stupid tools. The Ford people are going to be throwing their purses at me, but look, I own one now. I mean, at least they had serviceability in mind. I mean, look how easy it is to get this valve cover off. There's nothing in the way. It's really easy. You know, it's at least they had the mechanic in mind, you know? This engine is slimy. That oil has not been changed often at all. There's your problem. Yeah, that's multiple pieces. One's down here. Yeah. Wow, look at how sludged up that is. Dang. Ugh. Change your oil, people. So this guide is thicker right here, and the original bolt is not long enough, and it didn't come with any hardware, so I don't know if this is a revised one that's supposed to be stronger or what, but I dug around and found a grade 10 bolt that is long enough, so I guess I'll just do that. shiny new timing chain's been installed. It actually wasn't bad to put on. It's just the everything else that sucks. All right, got it up on some blocks. Got my cardboard. Used to have a toilet in it. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take this pan out, not only because of the sludge, but also because there's still timing chain bits in it. These cross member bolts were super stupid ultra mega stuck, so I just cut them off. All right, I got the oil pan out. Had to undo the steering rack, had to unbolt the differential and the sway bar, but we got it. And yeah, it's about that's about what I expected. It's just kind of full of ugh. And even worse, look at this pickup tube. Oh no! Can you see? 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 Can you see that? The screen is clogged with garbage, having never had its oil changed apparently. So yeah, I'm glad I took this out, because I don't think this engine would have lasted very much longer if we didn't clean that out. Or if I could sell this. Probably not. So I was just under here cleaning stuff up, grabbing the connecting rods, checking for play, and of course the number one has some play. I really didn't want to put rod bearings in this, but I really don't have a choice. So it took out the bearing in question, and it's got these weird sort of pits in it. It looks like it's getting oil, because usually these are scored up, but supposedly those pits are a sign that it's pinging, so that could be caused by carbon in the combustion chamber. So after we get this running, we might go ahead and put some seafoam in there, see if we can't get some of that carbon out, because I'd say that's most likely what caused that. Crank journal actually looks pretty good, so we're gonna save some time there not having to polish that. Technically, if I was feeling lazy, I could get away with just changing the front one, but I paid for 16 bolts and bearings. I'm gonna use 16 bolts and bearings, I guess. All right, so changing the bearings on an engine that's still in the vehicle, not a whole lot of fun, but I enjoy pain, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this cap off. And this bearing is actually pretty scratched up. I can catch my fingernail on it, so I'm gonna push this connecting rod up and get that bearing out. All right, now I'm gonna wipe everything down real good. I'm gonna slide this new bearing in. Excellent. I'll lube everything up real good. I'll pull this connecting rod back down like that. I swear every time I start talking, a big ass truck drives by without fail. Now I've got my cap that's also been oiled. I'm gonna stick that on. Now I got my new bolts that I've covered in oil. Stick those in. Now I'm gonna use my $20 Harbor Freight torque wrench to torque these down to 22 foot-pounds. Only the finest for the Ford. I'm gonna mark these and turn them 90 degrees because that is the spec.
2,000 years later.
Pan wasn't easy to get out, so at least it won't be easy to put back in either. Yay! All right, so when I took this pan out, I bent this pickup tube, and now that it's bent back into the correct place, it won't go back again. This crap is in my way. I really didn't want to remove that, but I really don't see another way to get this stupid pan on. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. All right, I disconnected the sway bar, and that allowed me to fish it up through, so we're good. Board! Went ahead and put a 180 degrees thermostat in it, and it's already had its thermostat replaced before, so that's kind of worrying. I hope this thing hasn't been overheated, although that wouldn't surprise me. So I went ahead and got it a new water pump and new pulleys because the bearings don't really sound the best. These have 130,000 on them, and I really don't want to do this again anytime soon, so I'm just going to replace them. I got the power steering pulley on, but I ripped the threads out of it in the process because it was such a damn tight press. Like, why, Ford? It's not going anywhere, I promise. So the previous owner broke this valve cover when they took it off. So I went to the junkyard and pulled this one off of a Grand Marquis. The only difference I see is this one has an oil fill and that one doesn't. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna have 2 oil fills, which is fine. This is one that was on this engine, and dude, it's just so dirty. Like, what is that? Ah! Got the valve covers on. They sunk the engine way back in there. I'm assuming for handling, but it's a truck. It's not gonna handle well. It's never gonna handle well. If you want something that handles well, get a car! Now I've got 2 oil fills. I can pick and choose. I can fill it up over here. I can fill it up over here. All right, so not everything's hooked up yet, so it won't start, but I do want to give it a crank and see if it will build some oil pressure for us. So let's see what it'll do here. The battery's not plugged in. Okay, now we're gonna crank it, see if it'll build oil pressure. All right, now for sure, we're gonna crank and see if we get oil pressure. Nothing. Oh yeah, the computer's not in it. Yeah. 4th time is the charm. That is the law. Oh yeah. Nothing yet. Still nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. Did I hook the pressure sensor up? I'm not worried just yet, because if you think about it, we had the pickup tube out, we had the oil pan out, we had the rod bearings out, timing chain off, new oil filter, and it didn't run for I don't know how long before I got it. So it's got a lot of oil to pump, so it's not surprising it's taking a second. Come on, oil pressure. There it goes. That's what we wanted. All right. Okay, let's see what she do. Ugh. Okay, so it ran terrible. But not everything's plugged in yet, so that would make sense. Okay, so the power steering fluid is all bubbled up, so that's what the whining noise was. I think I might just let it run for a minute. At least it'll run for a minute. It'll rev, but it just won't idle. Probably a vacuum leak somewhere. Found the problem. Brake booster's not attached. I think it's gonna run a little bit better now. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, not bad. Power steering sounds awful. So, that's cool, I guess. All right, let's go. Into drive. It moves. We're gonna have to flush that power steering fluid or something, because it's not getting any better. Hey, I mean, seatbelt. Seatbelt! You can't make me put it on. You're not my mom. I mean, the engine hasn't flown apart yet, which is always a good sign. Jeez, that power steering. It's vibrating the wheel, it's not happy. Cool. All right, everything is back together. Timing chain is officially been replaced. And $500 marketplace truck. I mean, you gotta admit, that's pretty good. It's actually running mostly decent. Still has a miss, but I'm not quite done with it yet. So power steering has fixed itself. Nice. Well, mostly. Shut up! So obviously the timing chains on those engines are problematic, but I read that one of the reasons it can fail is because of sludge, and yeah, how's oil supposed to get to that? It's all gooped up. That's probably why it failed. All right, we're gonna try seafoaming it now. See what that does for us. Blew most of it out. You're supposed to drive it hard after you put the seafoam in to break the carbon loose. Let's see what she'll do in 4 low. It's still slow. Yeah. Ah, shut up. It's still idling kind of rough. I think I'm gonna go ahead and replace the plugs. Ow. On the air, spark plug. All right, got it. So this is a Motorcraft plug, so that very well could be the original OEM plugs in this thing. So yeah, they're pretty worn out. We'll go ahead and change them. Found a free Allen key behind the headlight. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and start on the beautification process. I'm gonna restore these headlights. I'm gonna paint these bumpers, paint this grille, paint the side bumpers, all that good stuff. This is the laziest way to paint anything. Just ran a single line of tape using the cardboard. You'll get some overspray, but you can sand that off. All right, $500 truck. I mean, you could do a lot worse for 500 bucks. Granted, after the timing chain stuff, it's more like $800-ish, but still, even then, you know, it's a sorted running and driving truck for 800 bucks. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, if I were to pay a shop to do everything I did, it'd be more like 5 grand or something, but I did all the work myself, so that's how you ball on a budget. Now, obviously, it still needs some more work. The rear brakes are shot. It needs things like the differential oil changed and vacuum lines replaced, but for the purposes of this video, it's done, so subscribe.